Welcome back here, Totem Pole Nation. We are live here on a Tuesday. I got my main man, Johnny Bottles, in the house. What's going on, my man? What's happening? Good morning.
It's beautiful down here in sunny Central Florida. I got the go-go juice working. I'm ready to roll. Let's do it.
Oh, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. And, yeah, man, it was an interesting fact.
I was going to say I haven't had my apple cider vinegar shot yet. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, you know
I watched you do that. I watched you do that, and then you have the greens powder. You make like a shake or a drink with your greens powder. I decided to try that because I'm a little overweight down by the gut, a little bit of a beer gut, and I did that for like 2 days straight. And the second day I was doing that, I ate once that day, one meal. I wasn't hungry. I had no desire to chow down like I usually do. It was weird. And the wife goes, "How come you're not eating anything?" Funny thing is, I'm not hungry, honey. And that apple cider vinegar, it gives you energy. I don't know how it does it. I couldn't go with the regular apple cider vinegar. I had to go with the kind that's got the coconut, not the coconut. It's got the honey in it. And I think it's got the lemon juice in it also. You can buy two ways. Same company, I believe, but you can buy it two ways on the shelf, and it's got all the stuff floating around the bottom of it. I shake it up, pour myself a healthy shot. You're onto something there, pal. You really are onto something with that.
You know, it's one of those things, Johnny, where I can't stand it. I mean, it tastes terrible. It's never going to taste good, but the way it makes me perform and the way it makes me feel, and it does have a lot of help with the whole gut digestion and everything. And the benefits are crazy. Like if you read about it, like it from that to, it helps with digestion to it helps with foot odor, like all kinds of weird remedies that it helps with. But like I said, man, it's disgusting. It's never going to taste good, but it's just part of my rituals that I do for the results. How many people take a shot of whiskey just to, make them feel better? You know what I mean? It's the same kind of mentality. And I've just been doing it for so long. It's just one of those things. You got to just get it out of the way and move forward with what you got going on. And that's what I do. I do that. And then I drink about, a half a pot of coffee. And yeah, man, it opens up the floodgates and I'm ready to rock and roll and feel good. And it makes my stomach feel, light every morning after, we let those floodgates open and everything.
Here's a funny story about the apple cider vinegar. I have acid reflux where I take a pill every day, or every night rather. Pantoprazole is the name of the pill. You can buy the version of it over the counter. It goes by omeprazole. That's the kind you can buy right off the shelf at Walmart, but it's cheaper with my prescription plan where I could just have the doctor write me a script for it. I pay $2. You can't get the omeprazole for $2. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Acid reflux. I took 2 shots, one each day, each morning, of the apple cider vinegar. No acid reflux that night when I went to bed. None. 0. And apple cider vinegar is acidic. And you would think that by adding more acid to your gut, to your stomach, which is full of, people don't realize you've got sulfuric acid in your stomach. If you've got too much of that, your body becomes acidic and your microbiome is all out of whack. The biology of your skin, your hair, your joints, internal organs, your liver, your biology is all out of whack if your stomach's too acidic, and you can start to see it in your skin, your joints hurt, things like that. I had the apple cider vinegar for 2 days, and I don't know if it's psychosomatic, but I wasn't feeling any of that. I wasn't feeling any pain, any acid reflux, none of that crap. I felt great. Had a lot of energy too. So my hat's off to you, Coach. You turn me on to something new, and it works.
Good. We got to keep you back on board with that. Funny thing too, Bottles, is I remember when COVID first kind of came out, I was still working. I was working at a very busy golf resort. And man, they had us in gloves. We had masks. And one of the things I took with me, I was like, man, this is going to be my secret, my secret code here. But I had a bottle of apple cider vinegar. I poured it in a water bottle and I had it in my bag. And I said, you know what? If I ever feel like my throat getting congested, because you didn't know what the heck was going on, but maybe somebody coughs on me, I think I'm getting it. Man, I'm going to pour that apple cider vinegar because that stuff could definitely, it's going to get through whatever's clogging you up, man. It's going to get through your system. But that was one of the things, one of the weird methods that I do. And that's the thing about me, Johnny. I do weird stuff that's just not, it's not what people do.
It's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It is. You do your own rituals of things that work for you. Like, asana. Asana is so good for you. But I don't have one, So what do? I go get in my black car that's been sitting there in the sun, and it's probably 120, 150 degrees in there. And I'll sit in that thing for 20 minutes and I'll just be melting while I'm in there. And cool story. This past Sunday, we were all hanging out outside, and everybody, I got some family in town. Everybody decided they were going to take a nap, and I didn't want to take a nap. So I just went and got my 20 minutes in the car, get a phone call. And, I have all the phone calls from St. Pete Rejuvenate go right to my cell phone. And so, I get this phone call, and this guy is like, hey, man, what's going on over there? And I'm just like, yeah, how can I help you? What are you looking for? And he's like, well, what type of business is this? And I was like, this is what we do. We're a med spa, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'm getting like 10 phone calls a day from this number. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, pal, but, unfortunately, I'm the only one that, makes phone calls with this phone. And I have all the phone numbers come through this. And I can promise you, we don't do sales calls. We only take incoming calls. We don't call out. And man, we get to start talking and everything, man. The next thing you know, man, this guy mentions that he is a frogman. You know what a frogman is?
Absolutely. Scuba diver, basically, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, he's a Navy SEAL, my man. He is a Navy SEAL. Yes, sir. So we get to talking, and man, it was just unbelievable, man. The next thing you know, he's opening up to me. We're talking back and forth, and I'm telling him how what we do with the ketamine. That's been one of the most amazing things that I've ever seen before in person, Johnny. I mean, we get people coming in, and sometimes we'll get a lady that just coming in not feeling well at all, just super. I mean, as depressed as it gets, as dark as it gets. And, no makeup, not feeling well, not smiling. And man, within 3, 4, sometimes 5 days, man, the game has changed. They're coming in with makeup. They're smiling. They're laughing. And to see that, firsthand, see it right in front of my face, man. That's one of the things I love what we're doing. My wife, she is the ketamine queen. She is able to get these people dialed in and feeling like people need to be feeling again, man. It's a really beautiful thing, but it was just amazing how I get this phone call where, I'm not sure if a guy's going to come knock on my door. The other day I saw you do this number, like making sure, Cuban assassin ain't pulling up. It was the same type deal, man. I feel like I got a SEAL coming, and he even told me, he was like, "Well, trust me, you'd never know I was there. I'd be feeding your dog treats, so she wouldn't even know I was there. Then I would get you." And I was just like, "Holy cows!" But yeah, man, it might be a possibility where I can get him on the podcast and stuff like that. So yeah, man, exciting times with what we got going on here. But our life lesson today, is be your best supporter. You will never speak to anyone more than you speak to yourself in your head. So be kind to yourself. Be your own supporter.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
I think that's fantastic. You have to have the mindset is key. Mindset's everything. You got to have a positive attitude. And people say it. You hear it on TV. You hear it in lectures by a lot of these new age gurus out there. So you got to have the positive mindset. Positive energy is everything. Well, they're absolutely right. It's not just BS. You've got to get into the game thinking you can win. positive mindset. That's the key to everything in
Amen.
life. And you'll never advance yourself in life. You'll never move forward in life if you're afraid to make a move because you're not believing in yourself. It's the old saying, the journey of 1,000 lifetimes begins with a single step. You got to make that first step. You got to believe in yourself and make that first step. And you can't do it without feeling positive. And if you feel bad physically, if your body feels bad, the aches and pains, any kind of ailments you may have, it's hard to feel positive. You've got to overcome that. And if your body feels bad with aches and pains, folks, in your St. Petersburg area, go to St. Pete's Rejuvenate. They'll take care of you. I feel free for
Amen. Hey, oh man, I love it. It makes me think about, when I was little, you remember the cartoons where they would have like, it would be the character and then they'd have the little character as the angel kind of telling them to do the right thing. And then you had the little devil on the other side. Oh, I think everybody's got that, which voice do you listen to,
Exactly. And that's an allegory for modern belief systems, really. Do you believe in a positive force in the world, or you believe in a negative force in the world? Without getting religious or anything like that, or theological in our discussions. Do you believe in a positive force directing your life, or a negative force saying, come here, you don't have to do that. Come here. Let me take you under my wing. Listen to me. Don't listen to that guy in a white robe. Don't listen to him. So yeah, we're constantly in a battle, man. It's a constant battle inside your psyche every day. Good versus evil. Are you going to feel bad about things and just lay on the couch all day and not do a damn thing? Or are you going to get up and mow that freaking lawn? You're going to get up and paint that mailbox? Are you going to get up and hang those curtains your wife asked you to hang? Christ, I'm describing my life. What am I doing?
Amen. Yeah. I'll tell you, man, you had a great show yesterday. It was so great that Coach Taylor called you Coach Bottles, man. I love it. I know. They were both. Yeah, Coach Bottles. What a name.
I think I got promoted. Look at that.
It's so funny that he said that because when I actually played on a basketball team with him and his brother, and we had a coach that would show up and he smelled like Coach Bottles. He smelled like bourbon. I never knew what the bourbon smell was. I was like, man, this guy's got some different cologne on. And yeah, as you got older and you got some experience, it's like, man, this dude was showing up. This dude was showing up after hanging out with the Kicking Chicken or something, man. It was so cool.
I was coming up there saying, I just saw the coach drinking his cologne out in the front seat of his Ford pickup.
Yeah, man, who would think that stuff tastes any good, right?
Right. Incredible. We got a lot of big things going on here in the Totem Pole Nation, I see, with Sarah Blake Cheek, the queen of the SEC, FHM Magazine.
Huge. Yeah, beautiful stuff.
Here's the sidebar to Sarah Blake Cheek if you're watching. On your Twitter account, you may want to go to a subscription format in your Twitter account. Just saying. When people see those photos, put them on your Twitter account, have people subscribe, make some money, monetize that stuff.
Yeah, she's the best.
You can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. She is phenomenal.
I told Coach Troy yesterday when I saw those photos, I chased the wife around the house for a half hour, but she was too fast. Those photos will put steam in a man's stride. They certainly will. They'll get you moving.
Heck yeah, man. She's the best, and we have such a good relationship with her.
I see we're doing the sideline design thing, Coach. Tell people about that.
Oh, man. You know what? Yeah, sideline design, man. These guys, they just saw the way we were working the social media, and they were just like, man, who are these guys? What is making these guys do this? Why are these guys the way they're wired? And there's really no explanation the way we're wired. Maybe our coffee is just better than other people's, but we linked up with them, got in on a phone call. And yeah, man, they were just like, look, we're going to give you guys the ball. Y'all just roll with it. And we've just been creating things ever since. It's so easy once you get on their site to start creating stuff. I mean, the Squared Circle Maniacs, the logo that they put with the old school Polaroids. I mean, how phenomenal is that? Coach Taylor's over here making up, he's making up Prism cards, like your baseball cards, football cards for all of us. So it is a phenomenal thing. And they did that at no cost just because they love us. So we love those guys, and just phenomenal to see what's going on. The owner, there's talks about him coming to St. Petersburg, Florida. So if he comes for a visit, we are going to turn the shenanigans all the way up. We are definitely going to have a great time with that. Definitely going to have him over at the Hacienda, have a barbecue, get madness over here. Get some of that world famous Blake Cheek moonshine over here. Get her over here. She's got a lot going on. She's in the process of selling a house, getting a house. And the best part about it is she's going to be closer to Totem Pole Nation headquarters. So we'll definitely be linking up a lot more with her. But also tomorrow, we have my girl Taylor coming on. I've been best friends with her and her family for a good while. She's all the way out in Hollywood, so we're going to go at her noon time, which is 3:00 our time. But we posted a few videos of her and guest model. She's got her own brand coming out, her own women's gear for golf, for the golf industry. What a great thing to get into. When you're in this state, you play golf year round. So I'm looking forward to linking her up. And I tell you, what would be an awesome combo is, maybe a good trade of some beautiful golf gear for some beautiful moonshine, and link those girls up, because both of those girls are just unbelievable. And even last night, Miss Blake Cheek, she said, welcome to the Princess Taylor, and I was just like, wow, what a blessing for her, to say that. And I hit Taylor up, and I believe we're going to try to reel her in to the Twitter world where we're at. And Twitter world, if you're watching right now, go follow my main man right here, Johnny Bottles. He has amazing content. His pop culture podcast is unbelievable. It's a great way to learn from the best. I'm telling you, his mind is something you want to just try to put your seatbelt on, get strapped in, and just go for the ride, man. This guy is phenomenal. And I love having you here at Totem Pole Nation, my brother.
Well, thanks, boss. I appreciate that. We here at Totem Pole Nation, we want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? We want to be ubiquitous. We want to be everywhere. We want to be Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, everywhere. Yeah, I've been reading again. Don't ask me to spell it, though.
I got to get my wife for that as well.
Right. We want to be everywhere. And speaking of things that are going to be everywhere, tell me about Blake Moonshine, because I went to Walmart last night and I said, you know what? They got Walmart liquors right next to this Walmart where I'm at. They have a separate liquor store. And I said, I'm going to pop in here and get me a bottle of that Blake Moonshine, because I see Madness. I see Coach Bald sipping on that on Twitter. Love it. It looks delicious. The label looks fantastic. It looks like a premium bottle of alcohol. And they didn't sell it in the Walmart. I was shocked by that. Is it regional? Is it ubiquitous? Is it in every liquor store?
No, not yet. Right now we're having some difficulty with getting, the supply that is in demand, because it's a lot. A lot of people are reaching out, and we're just having some issues. I believe one of the main places that we're getting it from is, it may be in a territory that is not really big on, Tennessee Vols, if you know what I mean. It's one of those SEC battles. It's more than just on the field with the SEC. And that's why we're glad that we had the queen of the SEC on here. But yeah, as more news comes in, we will get you updated. But yeah, it's not where we can just go and grab it like we want. It's not in Walmart's just yet, but it is a process that we are trying to get our hands on it. Hey, if I have to, Johnny, we'll fill it. We'll throw it in the back of the ride, and we'll take a drive up north, come visit you. Heck yeah, hand delivered.
Well,
hand delivered.
Walmart's got everything. People might think Walmart's got everything. How come they don't have it? Well, folks, it's awfully hard to get a product in a Walmart. You've got it takes you've got to go through committee after committee after committee to get a product. If you're a company, to get a product placed in Walmart, and they want the world. That's why they sell everything at a cheap price, because they want steep discounts. They want everything handed to them. Very hard to do, but they're the number one retailer in the world, basically, Walmart, in the country. So it'll be there. Everything takes time. You got to take time to build, just like you guys took time to build Totem Pole Nation to where it is today. And it's going to go higher. So what else we got going on, Coach? What else is happening?
Well, I see we got a couple people checking in. Chance, what's up, my man? Good morning to you. Mr. Ardolino, great to see you. The little juice on the gut cleanser. Yep. And good morning to my man, Matt Davis. Health is wealth. Yeah, absolutely, Matt in Michigan. Yeah, besides that, I haven't really been keeping up with sports too much. After the All-Star break, I kind of took a little break from it. So, I've just been kind of hit and miss. When the wife is off, we just focus on her and do our thing with the clinic. The clinic's been keeping us plenty busy. And, that's the thing, too, with summertime, that IV hydration therapy, man, that can be a game changer. We have people coming in for weddings and stuff like that. So, the way we've advised it is, man, get your IV hydration beforehand. If you get it before the hangover, guess what? Won't be no hangover. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's been really good.
A lot of older people get dehydrated because a lot of older people are on blood thinners or on blood pressure medication, which will dehydrate you. They're also on fluid pills for water retention. People got the swelling in the ankles. Your doctor puts you on fluid pills, and they get dehydrated. They don't drink enough water because they're afraid to, because they think that if you're going to drink a lot of fluids, why am I taking a blood pressure pill? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? It's counterproductive. But folks, you got to stay hydrated, especially in this state with the humidity, with the heat index, things like that. You got to stay hydrated. You got to take care of yourself. Go to St. Pete's Rejuvenate.
Yeah, amen. I think too that with the apple cider, I think that kind of helps with leg cramps and stuff like that, man. It's got a lot of benefits. Like that was the thing too. Back in the day, guys would be chugging old pickle juice, pickle juice, the old picklebacks. Have you ever had a pickleback before?
I've sold pickle shots. I used to be a juice salesman years ago before I retired for a regional juice company up in Maryland, and we sold pickle shots. I don't know if you've seen them packaged in the store.
Okay.
7-Eleven used to sell a lot of them and all that. I don't know if Circle K's down here or Buc-ee's down here have sold anything like that. But it's actual dill pickle juice in a shot, little plastic shot glass, supposed to be healthy for you. I didn't care for it, but I love dill pickles. But I couldn't see drinking out of a pickle jar. You could probably cut out the middleman and just drink out of a pickle jar. They say the juice is good for you. So you might, man. Apple cider vinegar, and dill pickle juice in the morning. that might be an explosion.
Yeah, that sounds like a good poop. Sounds like a good poop to me is coming.
A good clean out, yes. You got to clean the chute out every once in a while. Pipeline.
Yeah, amen. I got to talk to. I got a good friend of mine too. I gotta get him on, or at least conversate with him. But great friend of mine, Bill Armstrong. He was actually at a very young age. He was adopted, and he's in his 50s, and he is in Texas right now, Austin, Texas, visiting his brother, his younger brother he never knew he had. So after 50 some years, he finally gets to meet his brother. And it is so cool because you get the pictures, and I mean, they're like splitting images of each other. Could you imagine that, realizing that you have a brother that you have not seen in so many years? Like, what must be going through their mind and everything?
That's amazing. And you always hear stories about things like that in the news. Sometimes they make, those Lifetime TV movies about things like that. You say, it doesn't happen that much. But yeah, a lot of people want to go out and they seek out their roots. They seek out where they came from when they're adopted. They want to know. They want to know why they were adopted, why their parents had to turn them over for adoption. So,
Yeah, amen to
sometimes
that.
it's a sad story, and sometimes it's a great story. And the great story is what's going on with your friend down in Texas, where he's now got family he never knew he had, and they're bonding together. I think that's a great thing.
Heck yeah, man.
It's always
Heck
good to
yeah.
know where you came from. Always good to know where you came from.
Without a doubt, man. And that's cool, man. You a Baltimore guy. I'm a Richmond, VA guy. You ever been to Richmond, Virginia?
I've been to Richmond, Virginia several times. Yeah, driving through down there. When I worked, here we go back to what I used to do for a living. I used to work for a bread company for 30 years. And when I first started, they put me on the Virginia route, which is where all the new guys start. So I was making that trip over to Woodrow Wilson Bridge every morning at 4 a.m. and coming back at 3 p.m. Long days, man. Long travel days. But I paid my dues and I got a decent route that was by my house, 5 minutes from my house. So I was happy about that. Change it up. Virginia's beautiful countryside. The people are great down there. Nicest people you'd ever want to meet. It's dealing with people professionally, even in the stores, in the back rooms, a food line and all that. Had a lot of food lines, a lot of Shoppers Food Warehouse, a lot of, these are all regional chains, folks, if you're down here in Florida listening. Walmart's, nice people working in the back, checking you in and all that, and the managers, but just a long drive from Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah.
When you're driving early in the morning, drinking your go-go juice, barreling down a highway. But beautiful countryside. Yeah. Beautiful countryside. Stafford, Richmond. Where else was I down there? Falls Church, Vienna, Virginia.
Yep.
I served all those areas down there. Yeah.
Yeah, we got two here in St. Pete. We had, St. Petersburg is actually the home of the Tampa Bay Rays. But yeah, this weekend or Thursday, Friday, we got the Baltimore Orioles coming into town. And it looks like that might be for first place in the division, man. Them Orioles have been hot and the Rays have not been. But the Orioles are actually the first team I ever got to see in a Major League Baseball game. I got to go to Camden Yards the first year they were open. Yeah. And you wouldn't believe it, man. I actually got to meet and take a picture with Johnny Unitas. And I still have the picture. That was just, whew, yeah. What a
Johnny
bucket
Unitas,
list.
That guy was incredible. That guy was amazing.
I tell you what, too. At his age, man, such a handsome guy. I mean, like I could not believe this guy. He definitely just looked like a rock star. And, he had the buzz cut, man. He just looked like he was right out of the military. He went right out of the military, right on the football field is how he looked, man. And I love that. I love the military. And yeah, man.
When he played, he was famous for that flat top buzz cut. Yeah, he was famous for that. When he took the helmet off or when he did interviews. Good Lord. And you thought right away, what's the Jarhead?
Yeah.
Yeah. They thought of that because of the flat top. But Johnny, he was fantastic. You see his hands when you met him?
Oh, I mean,
were all the arthritis from playing and breaking his fingers and all that. His hands were all jacked up.
But he had some catcher's mitts hands. I was probably a teenager then, right around that teenager, 12, 13. But yeah, I felt like a baby's hand grabbing his. And yeah, he did. He had some big, rough hands. I do remember that. I can remember the calluses and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. He was one of the greats, man. One of the greats. And
heck yeah, man.
You hear about these players nowadays. These pro football players who play with all this high-tech designed equipment and all that, shoulder pads, state-of-the-art, helmets, state-of-the-art, cleats, state-of-the-art. Those guys didn't have any of that stuff back then. It was smash mouth football. And that wasn't that long ago when they were like in the dark ages, basically, of football equipment and all that. These guys are well protected nowadays.
Yeah, amen. I was a big fan also of Mean Mike Curtis. Tell me about him.
Oh yeah, Mean Mike Curtis. I don't know that much about. Unitas was my guy. My
Yeah.
brother, because we had to share a room, even had a big 8x10 or 8x11, 8.5 by 11 picture of Unitas on the wall. So didn't know that much about Mike Curtis. I was a young man
Yeah.
back then, I believe.
Yeah.
Let me look,
Now,
let me look Mike Curtis up.
were you top bunk or lower bunk?
We didn't have
Yeah,
bunks.
reason I
We had twin beds in the room. You could hardly walk around
oh
in a
man, y'all
little
had a
twin
huge
bed.
room.
Yeah. We were sandwiched in though.
Yeah, oh
Mike
absolutely. Yeah,
Curtis.
Mike Curtis. I believe he was like number 32, linebacker. Just a force, man. Just he was one of those, kind of like a Dick Butkus, man. He was up there with meanness. They ain't gonna nickname you mean if you're a stand up guy in the NFL. That's for sure, especially back in those days.
In 72, he wrote a book about his career. The book was entitled Keep Off My Turf.
Man,
That just
there
gives you an
you
idea of
go.
his mindset. Keep off my turf.
Absolutely.
And
I'm gonna grab a little refill. I'll be right back. Bottles, take it away.
go right ahead, boss. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. Yeah, Mike Curtis was a first-round draft pick by the Colts in 1965. He was a fullback, but he got switched over to linebacker away from the tight end on the weak side. He was a team captain for most of his career, and yeah, he was. Before I got into football, he had his heyday. I got into football in the '70s because I was old enough to understand what was going on. But yeah, he got into football in 1965 with the Colts. Got
Wow.
fired from. No, he was selected by the Seahawks in '76. Played 14 games for the Seahawks. I did not know that. I did not know that. I'm looking up on Wikipedia right now, folks.
Wow.
And Mike passed away in 2020. God bless him. He had chronic traumatic. Oh no, he had CTE. That's what he died from. Complications from CTE. Neurodegenerative disease caused by repeated head injuries. Remember, folks, those guys back in the 60s, even in the 50s, they didn't have the complicated football equipment that they have now to protect their heads, to protect their necks, their shoulders, their kidneys from all the damage that you could do in a football field. So those guys were rough and tumble, man. You don't want to mess with any of them, even the smallest guys. You didn't want to mess with the smallest guys in the NFL back in those days. What about Broadway Joe? Joe
Oh
Namath.
man, what a legend! What a legend! He was Ric Flair before Ric Flair. Woo!
Absolutely, he was living a life, man. He was living a life.
Yeah,
those kind
amen.
of guys, though. You know why they're so memorable? Those kind of guys, and they were so at the top of their field. They were so at the pinnacle of success because they thought positive. They believed in themselves. They listened to themselves, and that's how they got to be where they are.
That's right. You got to do it. You got to feed the mind. You got to feed the mind good positivity. And I mean, we're talking about an era where back in the day, Johnny, the old concussion test was this: how many fingers am I holding up? That was the old concussion test.
Exactly.
Now you got to like remember codes and numbers and all kinds of stuff and follow. Yeah, it's a whole different thing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, exactly like you said. But yeah, man, great show, great chopping it up with you. I'll give a shout out to our sponsors, and then we'll get a last word from you. Huge shout out to Cultivate Wellness. Go to the website, plenty of good stuff there available. If you're in the Midlothian Turnpike area, go visit my beautiful cousin Julia. Want to give her a big shout out. She's in store. She'll take great care of you. She's usually Wednesday until the weekend. And yeah, St. Pete Rejuvenate. We've been getting phone calls all over Florida because some ketamine infusion places are closing up for whatever reason. But we are open, we are available, and the best ability is availability, and that's what we're doing there. So give us a phone call. You'll probably be talking to a very good gentleman with a beautiful voice that would be your main man right here, Coach Bald. But yeah, again, if you're watching, go follow my main man, Johnny Bottles. He's got great stuff, great insight. You will learn from him. He is the man. Yeah, any last words for Totem Pole Nation before we tap out here?
I just like to say, folks, if you like what we're doing here on Totem Pole Nation, please hit a like button. Please subscribe. Helps the YouTube algorithm. Helps us move up from the low man on the totem pole to maybe a little bit of a higher man on the totem pole. And then as you do it again next week, the week after, we move up a little higher and a little higher and a little higher. We're going to hit the top, folks. We're no Frank Fleming. That's no Dave Portnoy next to me on the screen. We're going to go to the top. So,
amen.
All right, Coach,
Amen.
take us out.
Thank you, guys. Totem Pole Nation, we love you guys. Keep checking us out. If there's anything we need to do or we're missing out, or if you know a superstar or rock star that we need to get on here, that's what we're all about, man. We're all family here at Totem Pole Nation, and we want to expose you. We want to put you out there. We want to make you the rock star that you are. But besides that, Totem Pole Nation, we love you guys. Keep living the dream, and to the next episode.